Hey everybody, Douglas here from Zombie Nation Gaming, and today we are going to be doing our second video in our franchise rebuild mode. So this is NHL24, and if this is the first video that you're watching in this series, we did do a previous release where we took the Pittsburgh Penguins and we simulated through the 2023-2024 season, got through the draft of the next year. So we are getting ready to start now, as you can see here, the 2024-2025 season. We made a couple of big trades in our first video. So the Pittsburgh Penguins, right, they're kind of aging out. They've missed the playoffs again for the second year in a row. So as the time that I'm recording this video, the NHL playoffs, the real NHL playoffs, have started. The Penguins, again, not in it again for the second year in a row. They did just miss out again. Had a chance there late to kind of control their own destiny. Couldn't quite find enough to get in. Again, that is in the real world. So now we are in our franchise mode. And we need to rebuild this team as quick as possible so that we can get the Penguins back to the Stanley Cup and get Sidney Crosby at least one more Stanley Cup before he retires in the game. So something that was pointed out to me, and I did mention this in the first video, is that it's very difficult to tell when you're in the off season what your team roster in terms of like a depth chart looks like. So as I was going through making moves, signing players, trading players, drafting players, whatnot, it was really kind of hard to tell what the roster was looking like. So if you are going to be doing one of these kind of franchise rebuilds, I would strongly suggest getting a little note paper and pad and mapping out what your lines are looking like based on all the moves that you're making. Because it was pointed out to me that I do not have a third line center, basically. So we have all young kids, and if we're serious about it, we really should be getting a veteran third-round player. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to try to trade for one. And there is not a lot out there to trade for. So we are going to try to get... Where is he? Maybe I passed him up already? Oh, there he is. Kevin Hayes. So he is on their trading block. We do have the cap space to take on an additional an additional contract. So we are going to try to send Yavanti and a pick to St. Louis Blues to see if we can get Kevin Hayes. And they're rejecting the trade. Okay. Maybe we can add in another pick. And there we go. So a player, a mid-round and a late-round pick for Kevin Hayes. We did need to get him, like I said, as our third-line center. So now that he is on the team, well, he would be my third-line center. They're going to make him the second-line center. But this is a much more realistic, I think, better setup here. I'm not going to bother changing the lines because I have the CPU controlling it, and they're just going to put it back to what you're seeing right here anyway. So I'm just not going to waste the time. All right, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and start simulating our 2024-2025 season. We're going to go to the calendar here, and I think what we'll do is we'll simulate maybe like two months at a time. So the first game of the season starts right here, and so I think what we'll do is we'll simulate through the end of November, and then take a look at the statistics for the team so far. So here we go. And, oh, we're still getting that That was a depth signing that we did right there, Edler, on defense. And we're getting a trade here, Derek Forbert and a 4th rounder for 2 2026 picks. I'm going to decline that. Not very interesting at all. Penguins, kind of hovering around 500 here so far through October. And still kind of tracking the same through November. We are going to have some growing pains here, I think. Brock McGinn, huh? That's going to be a no. I do need Klingberg. I did sign him this season to kind of fill the holes on defense there. I think we did trade away Chris Letang in the first year of this simulation. Okay, so there we go. We finished off November at 13-6-3, so a couple games above 500. Good to see so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at our team leaders to this point. So, starting off here, we've got Erik Karlsson having a phenomenal season so far. 34 points in 22 games. He's looking very good. There's Sidney Crosby, 25 points in 18 games. Looked like he missed some time there. Hopefully he's not hurt anymore. Evgeny Malkin having a nice season so far, 24 points in 19 games. We have 3 players at the plus point per game so far. Michael Bunting not doing too bad, 18 points in 22 games. Raquel, 17. Jack Roslovic, that was a pickup of ours in the last off season. That was a free agent signing, and he's coming in at 15 points in 22 games, so not terrible there. He's a +6. And then here's our one of our bigger acquisitions, as Niles Hoglander, a -4. He's gonna have some growing pains here. He's only 23 years old, but 14 points in 22 games, not terrible. And then JVR, we did again sign as a free agent. If you watched the last video, it doesn't look like he is doing all that well. And then continuing on down here, Riley Smith, just awful. He's been hurt again here, as you can see, only 14 games played and 9 points. So he's going to be one of the players that I do try to get off of the team once we get to the trade deadline or close to it. So there's Kevin Hayes. We did just make that move. 8 points in 20 games, not very good numbers. He does have 3 power play points, probably assists. And rounding it off here is Vasily Ponomarov. 1 point in 5 games. Looks like he subbed in. Jesse Puljujarvi subbing in also with 5 points in his limited playing time. So remember, guys, always check your goalies. So we have Tristan Jarry here has gotten 17 starts, 9-5-3, but only an .895 save percentage and a 3.58 goals against. So terrible numbers here. We would obviously want to try to have a save percentage up around the 9-10 mark and above. And our goals against, obviously, we would like to have those below 3, if not down around the 2.5 mark here. So Nedeljkovic backing up here. Looks like he's having an excellent season so far, 4-1 in 6 starts. 930 save percentage. We like to see those numbers in that 226. So Nedeljkovic performing extremely well in his 6 games that he has gotten. So let's head back to the calendar and continue our simulation. So we are going to take this now through the end of January. So we'll simulate here to, we'll say February 1st, and we'll see what we can do. So, I mean, it's kind of hovering, hanging out above 500 here. Getting a trade offer. Boy, John Klingberg really, really taking on some interest here. 7th round picks, that's going to be a big no. And here we go. We got a offer from Columbus. They want a 4th and a 5th, and they're going to give us a 4th and Sean Corrali. Not awful. I'm going to decline though. So the Penguins now, again, right at 500, game above, game below. A couple more games here before the end of January. And it looks like we picked up some nice wins. All right, so 26, 19, and 4. And that is going to put us currently in the number 3 spot in the Metro Division. We are 5 points behind both the Rangers and the Hurricanes right now for those top 2 spots. And it looks like we have the same amount of points as the Flyers, but we do have a game in hand on them. So a lot of hockey left to be played. Let's go ahead and take a look at our statistics and see how everybody is doing after another 2 months of gameplay. So we have Erik Karlsson still leading the way, 53 points in 29 games, so his point per game average is down. Sidney Crosby, 51 points in 45 games, so he's catching up. I would probably expect him to take the lead here pretty soon. Evgeny Malkin, still over a point per game right now, so that is good to see. Old Gino, hanging out there in the number 3 spot. Yeah, we've got Raquel and Bunting coming up in here next. Jack Roslovic, again, another, I think, incredibly solid season here. 28 points in 49 games and a +4, so you like to see that. Van Riemsdyk, 27 points. And there's Riley Smith just not cutting it at all. Kevin Hayes seems to have picked it up a little bit, but still not doing anything world-beating, amazing at all. But we will take those numbers. And then we are going to see some pretty big drop-off here. I do like to see Marcus Patterson on the plus side, though. That is good to see. Ryan Graves, 10 points, but only a -1, so not terrible there. POJ, +2. So the defense, not awful in terms of, a plus-minus standpoint. Ponomarov picking up some more playing time here. And let's take a look at our goalies and see if Jari has gotten any better. All right, I do like what I'm seeing here out of Jari. He's bouncing back a little bit. He's played 41 games, so pretty big workload. 2016 and 4, he does have 3 shutouts. So that's good to see. The save percentage is above .910. It's creeping its way up there. Goals against under 3. So I do like his, he's kind of come back here in the past 2 months. Got those numbers, cut the goals against by 1 over the past 2 months. So that is excellent to see. We'll head back to the calendar. We'll continue on in our simulation. And we are going to go to the trade deadline. So we'll take a simulate up to the trade deadline there in March. So I'm probably just going to be declining all of these. Really not getting any of what I'm looking for. Okay, Seattle fires their coach. So bye-bye to you. Blue Jackets firing their coach. Not surprising. Pretty bad teams. Oh, I mean, not bad. Raquel, he's one of the guys that I would like to move, but I just don't think that I have the players to fill his spot right now. I mean, if we keep it up, we are looking at being a buyer here at the trade deadline. These would not be the guys that I am buying, though. So I'm going to try to get a deal that I'm more comfortable with. And St. Louis looking to get Raquel, but I am not interested in Nick Leddy. All right, so we are going to be... we'll go buyer. We'll just go straight out buyer. And we'll take a look here at the trade deadline. That's not gonna work. Well, a 4th round, a 2nd round. I'm gonna get a 3rd round pick back. I'm okay dealing a goalie prospect because we do have Askarov in the system. So I would be okay doing that. Pacioretty and Ethan Bear for defense. I don't know. This isn't a terrible deal, I don't think. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and just accept this one. John Ludwig on waivers. I'm okay with that. We'll go ahead and do that one. I think at this point, I might be done, in all honesty. Maybe see if there's a another trade that comes in. the first round pick. All right, so we did get it one trade. Casey Cizikas on waivers. Do we want to claim him at 3 years at 2.5? No. All right, so let's simulate through the end of March. And see if our trade does anything to help the team. All right, so we are at the beginning of April. Looks like the Penguins have fallen to 4th in the Metro now. And we have lost a bunch of ground. So it looks like we have, what, 7 games left? Don't think we're going to catch the teams above us. And it's looking like we are very close to being out. So the Panthers are 1 point behind us with the same number of games left to play. All right. Do we play them at all? We do not. All right. So here we go, guys. Let's just simulate these last games. We'll take a look at the statistics. Hopefully we make the playoffs here. So here we go. Still holding, still holding, still holding. And I think we are in. We are in. All right, looks like we're going to be going on the road to play Buffalo in the first round. Before we do that, let's quickly take a look at how we fared our final regular season statistics. We did not have a single player at a point per game. That's disappointing. Sidney Crosby ended up missing 5 games. Carlson was the closest. He missed it by 1 point. 81 points in 82 games. Crosby had 73. Malkin. Raquel was our 4th leading scorer, shockingly. Obviously, Pacioretty we acquired at the deadline, so those points all weren't for him. Bunting, 46 points. Niles Hoglander, 40 points in his first year in the starting lineup. Kevin Hayes also 40. Roslovic, 39. Riley Smith, just atrocious. Van Riemsdyk missed a whole bunch of time. I think he might still be hurt. Let's see. Who we got there? Ethan Bear on defense. Graves finished at a +6, huh? I'll take that. I like that out of him. Pedersen finished even. All right, let's take a look at our goaltenders. So Tristan Jarry did finish with a 34-24-4 record, 916 save percent, and a 281 goals against. So a slight improvement over the last 2 months there. Not terrible numbers overall. So I mean, we didn't really do all that bad. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. So in the West, we've got Colorado and Dallas, Chicago, LA, Edmonton, Anaheim. Oh, wow, Anaheim's getting in there. Vancouver and Winnipeg. And then on the East, we have got Carolina and the Rangers. Philly made it against Montreal. Boston and Toronto playing. It's the matchup, actually, that's happening tonight in real NHL. And then the Penguins are going to go on the road at Buffalo. I think we were the last team to get in. So that means that we are, up against it here. All right, let's head to the calendar and see what we can do. We'll do two games at a time in simulation. And wow, 2 road wins, upsets, and we can close it out at home. Can we do it? No. But a 3-1 lead going back to Buffalo. Can we pull this road upset off? And we do, an overtime winner. And that is going to move us on to the second round. Now we did finish, we did make it to the second round in our first year of simulation. All right, so the playoff round is complete. We're going to go at Boston next. Take a look at our statistics here real quick and see how we're doing in the playoffs. So there's Sidney Crosby with 7 points in 5 games. Carlson also 7 points in 5 games. Evgeny Malkin has 5. Raquel 5 and 5. Hoglander has 4 points in 5 games. So pretty good. And there's Kevin Hayes stepping it up for us. Look at Michael Bunting with 2 game-winning goals for us, coming up big. That's his only 2 points so far. And it looks like Malkin is leading us in goals currently. Our goalies must have performed well. Let's take a look. Okay, so Askarov looks like got called up for the playoffs and did get a game and a win. Alex Nedeljkovic had a shutout. Boy, look at these numbers in that series against Buffalo. So I don't know. So somebody came in for Jari in relief. He's hurt. There it is. So Tristan Jari did get hurt. And it looks probably Nedeljkovic or Askarov came in that game. Wow. All right, so Tristan Jari hurt. Let's see if our elite prospect goaltender or our trusty backup can help us upset the Boston Bruins. All right, we'll take the first 2 games and a split on the road. Got two at home here, and we are split. An overtime loss, so we are down, what now, 2 games to 3, right? Yeah, got to get a win here. Can we keep it alive? We don't. We are out. Bounced in the second round again. Oh, that is incredibly frustrating. So let's just get to the... Take a look here at the Stanley Cup final here in just a second. All right, so the Stanley Cup final is going to be Boston, Colorado. I mean, that seems like a pretty legitimate matchup to me. Both these teams have been pretty consistently good. You know, this year, last year, probably again next year. So, you know, hey, that all makes sense to me. Let's see what we got. Boston up 2-1. Series tied. Colorado up 3-2. Boston tying it. We have a game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. That's pretty exciting. And it is the Boston Bruins. There you go. Stanley Cup champions, the Calder Cup, Toronto Marlies. How about that? All right. I'm not going to really take a look at the player statistics at this point because I'm pretty annoyed that we lost. So Let's take a look at the draft lottery results. St. Louis going to get the #1 overall pick as they move up from number 5. So Seattle down 1, Columbus down 1 to 3, Montreal down 1 to pick 4, Nashville at 5, San Jose at 6, and then everybody else stays the same. Yeah, there we go. Nashville, look at that. The 4th and the 8th pick overall for them, so good for them. So there's your draft lottery results. And we're going to continue on here. We are not going to do the draft interviews. I think I am going to simulate up to the draft. Yeah, let's take a quick look at our players retiring, just for the fun of it. Anybody from our team? Alexander Edler. Well, you played a couple of games for us. I appreciate it. And he is out. And we have a Ronald Joslin is retiring from our team as a coach. So see you later. We're not going to do the draft interviews. I find it really not worth it. All right, we're going to do the draft in this particular video here, and then we'll probably call this one an end and do our re-signings and our free agency and all that stuff. We'll do that in the next video. So we're going to go ahead and start the draft. Here we go. Is it the draft board? Is that where I go? There we go. So we've got only 5 picks, but we do have picks in the first 3 rounds. So that's good. Again, that Philippe Hawk is who I'm hoping is going to be available for us at pick 18. So let's just simulate up to our pick and see who's there. So Diego was the goaltender that we were projected potentially. So there's our guy. Yeah, 6'4". I like the size. 2 dashes. Do we go with Bass? He's a top 6 forward projected. He's a little bit safer. I don't like his size. Like 5'10". I do like, again, Hawk. However you say his name. He is on his way up. Yeah, like I said, I do really like him here. So I think we are just going to go with him. Welcome to the team. 66 overall. I mean, I think that's probably good. He ends top 6, so like the size. Let's sim up to our 2nd round pick and see who is available for us. So we just took a wing, and we do potentially have some elite prospects here. Let's see what their size looks like. A 6'5" defenseman, potentially elite. I don't have anybody, I think, scouted in this area, huh? No. I mean, Lindholm here is probably going to be our guy. is 18 years old. He's 6'5", right-handed. So I think we're just going to pull the trigger here on Lars Lindholm. Welcome to the team. He's 61 overall. Okay. Top 6D projected. Take that. Take a look at our 3rd round pick. Probably do need to replace our goaltender, in all honesty. I would imagine that Askarov's going to be up this coming year. We can't really keep him in the minors for too long. So I think maybe I will go with Artem Kolesnik. Yeah, both 6'1". This guy's a little bit older. Got a little bit better scouting on him, so we will just go with him. See, 58. Nah. I mean, a backup. Okay. So we're going all the way up to the 5th round. See if we can just find anybody, a diamond in the rough somewhere. I mean, Gustav Nabokov, power forward. We got some good scouting on him. I mean, a 2- on the elites, 6'2". Yeah, why not? This late in the draft, we're just going to take some flyers on potential. And we'll simulate here to our last pick in the draft. Let's just go ahead and, again, just take a shot on an elite prospect. Why not? Nothing to lose. All right. And that concludes the draft. We did make our 5 picks there. 1 pick in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round, 5th, and I believe that was the 6th round. So that is going to do it for the video for today, everybody. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you did like the video, please give me a thumbs up there. I would appreciate it. Our channel's pretty new. We're just getting started off, so it'll help us out. And if you would please consider subscribing, again, we would appreciate that also. And if you hit that notification button, it will let you know anytime that we either go live or post some new videos. We do try to put out about 2 to 3 videos per week. And I thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon.